the 30 March 2023. We have a conversation quite simple. We could observe that the counting principle allow us to track fail at the counting process. First thing, and we will put our eyes on it. Globally speaking, such major police against major threats. The pattern we used starts as segmentation binomial, segmented Europe and crossing with events or area, events time, area space, time space, constitution or composition as reality to check the threats. After have the threats checked, I could observe patterns that can be on price, setting price scams, on banks, setting financial scams, and in general come or bring ourselves to property as examination and attributes to understand the quality, as parallel attributes, parallel records, parallel origination, parallel workflow, sourcing the origin or the origination of all incomes. We could observe the institutional corruption. This was the idea we could have. Then we used something like this, and the group of accusation, of course, we will remember one more time. It's that group of accusation you had. It's here or there, I have no idea. It's that group of accusation that you could observe and put the major threats as pandemic crimes, purpose against mankind, or even a great third war based on paramilitary activity and things forming the shield as transnational organized crime, counting with corruption as treason of state power all around, or share threatening we all. And the model we used was this. We only have to get the fail at the counting principle by the counting process, the oriented program. We did this too. We could check, here are some crimes observed, and all this ruled by a behavior, the evasive behavior, which is no accomplishment with premises. Guarantee international 33 article 5 Brazil, you failed again. Because you are unable, Brazil failed system by criminal use to present the relation since micro relation as registry that comes before the records at the financial account, individual, the market as microstructure or macro conjuncture. You fail the entire system, Brazil, but you are linked with other. If you are linked with other after God declared as failure, the others linked with you are associated with the fail. Same pattern observed at the electoral procedure, America. Same pattern observed in all things, considering this model here, the free zone. We could observe that the free zone is the area of attraction, or your goal as criminal purpose to do the attraction of things. We put the law enforcement there. The same way we put at the company since 2018 to prevent the top-down scams at the financial center, America, at that time which was a corporate area. And we could unveil white-collar crime, bondage, dominance, which is torture, used for intimidation and suppression, especially of members or players related with this kind of criminal activity observed on counting principle. Now we take advantage to put against you. It's the idea of nemesis business. Use the criminal activity, set the intelligence, and use against the criminal organization. You did the plagiarism all the time, my dear offenders. The idea is counting principle forming the big data using the machine learning. The axiom failure is the oriented program that I need to trace and track this. And we'll check that unless 72 hours, I think, the last 3 days, we have some tests. The first one was with the Microsoft or the Google. You check that the operational system got failure. The second one, the failure, indeed, you observe by the number of applications that you have on your mobile software you have on your machine, and probably will not have the same pattern as the cloned operational system or instrument. We could observe that the modification can go at the local access network or at your mobile. And we have a difference here. The thing that we observe as the second control test was the login. If you have if you got logged at your account and the parallel operational system or partition got in your machine or instrument, if has an ID or it's an exclusive service, will be trouble to identify you because has a cloned instrument. We will observe that the third control test, in general, we have like this. In general, my machine, as notebook or desktop, has no connecting straight to the internet. My machine need the Ethernet as the cable connecting if it's a desktop, or if it is a notebook, I can connect the Ethernet or the signal as range from my that box that spread the signal. I have two ways to connect. First thing that we must have in mind. The mobile is something that has their own connection as mobile, can be connected at the Ethernet, or can be connected at the Wi-Fi as signal. It means that if you clone my mobile, you can and can be used equally as a connection as Ethernet or as Wi-Fi. If you clone my mobile, you have a total structure for connection and clandestine movements at the internet. If you have the parallel use of my machine as instrument mobile, you can operate this microenvironment as interconnected with the other machine, especially at my house, especially if you do the not authorized at the entrance, got the number or the code, or have installation or delete my operational system and pattern that come from with my machine that you had the purchase, for instance, the Dell company. You violated the relation with the Dell company, the Google, the Norton, the Microsoft. Problem. eBay, the US postal system, because you consider yourself untouchable by the hidden elements covering you as fake records, transferring the guiltiness for others. Brazil, you are trouble. You will pay every single penny, be isolated and heads will be sent to jail or institutional corruption. 6 up to 20, at least by economic espionage. It's the law in the United States in a federal prison. And there are other crimes. Crimes against mankind by ethic consequence, considering the prison boat at least one bomb. Second thing, the most relevant thing that you must have in mind, it's that those aggressions come against an individual, and we had a crime to stop, didn't, affected the moral entity, affected the United States and the Europe, and affect the entire global community. 0.33 trillion. In the same way, we will observe that this pattern as variance will, for instance, affect my basic rights and guarantees, the guarantees of the credit or the international community, as you could observe and prove, the guarantees of states and the state community being related with a treasonous element, like the Brazil and others, states with treason by chairs, threatening the global peace. 33 trillion. This has a name. It's a collinear pattern ruled by the guideline corruption, you all. And goes like this. We could observe that this pattern here, we set the, for instance, the range as capacity to transfer the information using the digital space, 4G, 3G, or double G, kind of. We reduce the capacity and putting at the 3G, because in general the 4G is like the Wi-Fi that has a lot of possibility to do the connection, has a lot of possibility to spread the signal. The 3G you have only one, and they put the line straight, is easy to get, my friend. Indeed, we have no need as this entire thing, but we are explaining because we like to have the intelligence as institutional intelligence, USA, Europe, and part of Asia against the crime with the accuracy desired. I full share 33 billion because they can't abandon my basic right as compensation. If I forgive a single penny, it can be got as white collar crime, and I'm not a criminal. I'm not a fraud. This is part of the Brazil, the debtor system, and viewed as the criminal system by peers on it, by cretinism, using records to commit crimes, using control instruments to commit crimes. See? We'll check that, and then I request a lot of downloads. That's my mobile, my instrument will be the capacity to transfer this. But since I have a lot of monkeys acting on it, probably, the tree will be a little shaking. And if I'm doing this, my dear monkey element, I'm having the transference of my information. And I set a VPN, which is a barrier, as an exclusive service to protect my information. And you broke the VPN. Do you consider that this a systematic behavior, criminal intent? And this violation inside the control test at the judicial trial or the judicial background based on this effort, do you consider that you created a big problem and you are evidenced and proven? Because you violated my privacy, the communication of my privacy and activity considering others by the interconnected, the thoughts and the interest in things I do at my privacy. And after all this, even using the VPN or changing the lock of the door, you put something to keep the entrance or violate things. 37 trillion. Pretty affordable, filthy animal. I hope you got that in prison, because many of you will be, by the age you have. I will have something here, because as you could prove and observe, we finish our effort, so we will have the invitation to you. Get drunk at the beach. La Frogue, it's a scotch, but not made on scotch, I think. And you can consider have this kind of as the official drink if this entire thing got a royal stamp. We kind of believe at this, at the accreditation. And then you probably will have, like it or not, it's how the greed goes. Greed is everything. 37 trillion. My condition to flow things, 1% plus 3 trillion, plus cases 32 trillions. I can do donations, such the investment system, trust centers, America, centers, Europe. And then we will transfer things, have the research by the financial desk, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, peers on it, on Europe, representatives all against the crime, zero tolerance with the corruption. And the last thing of all, if this is the criminal scam, you have a lot of things going at the show business, the major circle by the financial purpose. And for instance, you have the parties and drugs, and you got someone here, a crazy person with drugs and you send to jail, but do not send to jail the banker man or the financial linkage at this, probably by act you have to kill the banker man. If you consider that the white collar crime as banker man and the international financial system having the mobilization of transnational organized crime and criminal investing, supporting not hate, terror and other activities, torture, or even murder, or a serial killer group to murder people all around, more dangerous than a crazy person having drugs, it's illegal in the same way. But at this context, at this case, the first priority as prison or major consequence is who set this entire thing here. It's the financial purpose as element connecting them all. You can put a stamp of them all, like that chain by the value -1 that allowed we to track them all. Any question? Have a great weekend.